blah blah. So we just watched Volume 5, or Chapter 4 of RWBY Volume 5.
No, we watched all of Volume 5.
So far.
What an ending.
It was so... Okay. So, I'm going to try my best to not, like, summarize like I usually do, because I just feel like that's just spitting out what you guys would have otherwise just watched. Mm-hmm. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about certain things that just kind of came to me within the certain sequences. So, for example, we first opened up obviously with Yang. I know this is starting to summarize now, but the whole thing with Yang taking the guy over to the campment. First of all, I'm glad she got there like immediately. Obviously, she got ambushed, but I mean, I guess what I'm trying to do is just to kind of highlight like the whole fighting sequence that happened within that, because I think that was the most fighting heavy it got.
Yeah, there wasn't much in terms of
actual like combat and stuff like
there's
that.
no real action.
Even as far as like throughout the other what was it? As far as the other stuff that went on like in the previous chapters, there was not a lot of fighting. So this was kind of like a legit thing that happened that we can actually look at. So I think I'm not sure how I feel about the fighting choreography, because like when it comes to RWBY, I hate doing that, but I always compare it to what Monty did. Mm-hmm. And I still think Monty is still like the best. It's like it's so ahead of its time, even if just the minor like animations, like walking and very casual animations, are like really stale or not well improved as it was when everyone took over taking care of like Volume 3 and whatnot, where they actually included much more subtle, more realistic animation
gestures.
Yeah, like that. I see that image right there. That's incredible. Yeah. But in any case, I still think that the fight choreography, it's good. Mm-hmm. It takes care of, it deals, it does enough, I would say, to really change things up. They shoot thing like, oh shoot, that's what happened. It's one of those things where you actually want to rewind and see what just happened, instead of like one of those like very lazy Naruto animations. Like especially during like filler seasons, and they like slow down, like someone like ducking and then like doing an uppercut. It's like that's very simple. That's yeah, you can easily read that. But this one's like, okay, there's so much stuff happening, and it's also 24 frames, so it's also like kind of blurry too, and shaky sometimes. So yeah, it was really cool seeing Yang. Just it almost seems like she hasn't even lost her touch. Yeah, but she probably like practiced for weeks.
Yeah, I remember she was practicing with her arm for a while.
Yeah, so she's very well adept with it, so that's really cool.
Long enough to beat her dad's ass.
Yeah. I don't know how good he is though, but I'd say probably as good as a hunter should be. Huntsman.
Yeah, he's a professional hunter.
That's true.
Or the ragdoll physics.
I have the pop filter on.
Speaking of that, the whole training sequence with Crow, or not Crow, I guess I know Crow's doing something. This is just to make note. This is actually take place when Gabe has not watched the other 2 episodes, which is like chapter 2 and 3. Not that he really needs to see them right now. He could just do it on his own time. But otherwise, I kind of told him like a good gist of what happened. One thing I did leave out for you was the fact that Crow was going out to search for more huntsmen, because after episode 3, where they kind of discussed like, okay, Osman's still very much so conscious in Oscar's body, and therefore can switch at any time and just kind of let everyone know what the plan is. Crow is trying to collect as many huntsmen and huntresses as possible within Mistral, because they're not all tied to like the government or anything like that. So they're pretty much freelancers. So they're going to plan on like just forming a small little army like that. In the meantime, the 4 and Oscar are just planning on training each other, because as you saw, RWBY's doing them hand to hand, because she can't do anything without the scythe.
Oh yeah.
So
as we learned in Yang's character short.
Right. So it's her versus Oscar, and I guess Oscar's actually picking up pretty fast, even though like he does hold the memories of Osman as well. So
Christ, you hit a girl.
Decked her in the schnoz. Well, yes and no. Ooh. He has his memories, but Ozpin can coach him.
That's true.
That's about as far as that goes. He doesn't remember what Ozpin remembers. He just knows what Ozpin is telling him. Ozpin can take over, and
I have to review the episode again. But he definitely he can take on the muscle memory because like they are linked. And I think it's about the memories that they do have a connection. That I don't even know.
She's so adorable.
I almost feel bad that she gets kicked and punched in the face specifically.
I know, right? It's all face shots.
Whoa! It was interesting because I was thinking that they were going to actually talk a little bit more about semblances and whatnot, and
they didn't.
Not so much. RWBY the series just kind of keeps it kind of vague as far as how semblance and aura works. I think Pyrrha was the first to ever really elaborate on it, but it wasn't too it wasn't that much extensive like
history lesson.
Yeah, which I'm used to like shonens like really just taking a good 20-15 minutes just to like elaborate on like
a way too long amount of time,
right?
To tell you, oh, this is how this works. Like I think there's about 4 or 5 episodes of Naruto that explain like the natures of chakra and all that.
And well, if you're really into the series, I do appreciate those type of episodes that like really elaborate on that kind of stuff. I just don't really like historical flashbacks that much. When they can easily like just kind of like retell the story in a way that's really concise, but it also keeps your attention with like illustrations and whatnot. That's why I liked when Naruto whole training session with the Rasen Shuriken explained the chakra natures and whatnot. I think that was suffice enough, even though we didn't know about like light and dark stuff.
Yeah, they don't. It's not trying to be shoveled in to just kind of it be there. They're actually making it contextually relevant.
Yeah, but here in RWBY, so far they don't really elaborate too much on it, and as far as I can see, they kind of won't really find the time to do that. You just kind of have to listen on the ear, or keep yourself like to the ground on that kind of stuff as each episode goes by.
Like the Scarlet whatever is the name of her scythe.
Yeah, or I think it's called the Crescent Rose.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. As far as like Weiss's weapon, I think I remember the name of it, but
it's the Schnee
Satane. Satane. But I think it starts with an M, but yeah, that doesn't really get named.
Mjolnir?
Not Mjolnir.
Oh.
So sad. But yeah, just
its name should have been Mjolnir.
It was I mean, seeing them train was really cool in the sense that RWBY is obviously needs some improvement, and when Aspen actually jumped in consciously to fight, I mean, still had the body of like a little boy, so he obviously couldn't do too much, but he just like hammered all these fists, like
oh my god,
all the hands.
All he likes to do is just hit her in the face. It's like he had resentment for her.
I felt bad for RWBY. Just seeing like, I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. If I was in that position, like, oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I'm punching and kicking you in the face.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll see a little bit more of that. I do feel bad for Jaune because he still hasn't really discovered that semblance yet. And people were just, the three were just talking about how they got their semblance. Ren, obviously from a tragic moment that was covered in Volume 4. Nora just got struck by lightning. It was whatever. RWBY just found out during like some kind of training practice, but we don't know much about Jaune. I do have like an idea of what might happen like in the volume. I'm thinking that it will be revealed in this volume, but it's only gonna be applicable at the moment that's required, but it'll be useless throughout.
As with most things.
Yeah. If I had to guess, it might be some kind of like rally type of deal that affects other people.
People are starting to theorize that he has like, instead of it being attraction like Pyrrha, it would be repulsion.
Repulsion, as in, what do you mean by repulsion? Oh, just sheer propulsion.
Like a repulsion, like a magnetic push instead of magnetic pull.
Yeah.
He has the almighty push.
Might be, but I've only seen like one instance of that, and the fact that he has a lot of aura. He's a Naruto.
Yeah, people are thinking that because of the characters that he and Pyrrha were, they're virtually opposite sides of a coin that came together, and so they're thinking that their semblances would complement each other as well, being attraction and repulsion.
Maybe. But then it would just come down to, wow,
Look at this bridge blow up.
So it would just have to come down to like when he realizes it. If it's about repulsion, then I can just forget about like my own theory about like it just being useless everywhere else, unless it's like particularly like Metal and Ally that gets affected by it. But otherwise, I don't know. I'm still on the fence because I know that Volume 1 kind of elaborated on that with using Ren as like an example, how he's able to extend aura with like his movements and like fighting stuff. So you can essentially like use the Force in a sense, or he can add a little bit more oomph to it, like a palm gesture or a fist. But I'm still not sure because I'm not sure how consistent I can keep up with like RWBY, because they have to keep making things up on the fly and making consistent too. So I'm not really sure about.
I don't know, because if the word through the grapevine was correct a couple whiles back, Monty had everything planned out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well into everything.
So I have to wonder, like, what are we missing? What are the key things that are missing? Because a lot of these things we just have to hypothesize until it happens.
It's kind of like how One Piece was, how they hinted at a lot of stuff that doesn't happen until way after.
That's
like
true.
Hockey and all that. It's hinted at from the first episodes. And
that's true. But I'm also like questioning it too, because they honestly had to like redo a whole lot of things, like how armament looks.
Well, yeah, that way you can get a visual representation of it. But it is something that happens invisibly.
That's true.
You don't see it. It's just they show us.
Yeah, okay.
That way we know. Just like Conqueror's Hockey, you don't see a giant pulse wave.
Right, that's
go
something.
Around. It's
yeah,
just
it's something that we
force.
See. It's a force that unseeable, but it definitely has an effect on the physical world. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can let that pass then. So we'll see about that. Definitely the big turning point for me, or at least the highlight for me, was the confrontation between Yang and her mother. Because
that was not a warm family reception.
It went off better than I thought. It felt like Yang's mom was just like, "Oh, you returned. Do you prove yourself to be my daughter? Please join our ranks." And Yang's like, "No, take me to RWBY. It's much faster that way." So she had the intention to go to RWBY, but she essentially killed 2 birds with 1 stone, going to her mom, knowing the whole teleportation thing, which is really interesting. It reminds me of Minato's jutsu thing.
Yeah.
When you brand people with a tag and he just goes to them immediately. So only people that are close, like bloodline or just like emotionally connected.
It has to be someone that she has a bond with. Damn, that's crazy.
That's actually really
cool. Her dad, her daughter, and her brother. That's it.
That's it. She could do so much more, but she sticks to her tribe. Which, man, like, I have a hard time connecting with Raven because of that. She welcomes her daughters, like, "Congratulations, we're gonna have a room set up for you, we can have a cook." And then, like, the moment that Yang denies all that and just wants to go see her daughter, is just, or her sister, that's...
God, Yang got busy early.
Raven's just like, "Oh, I see how it is. Alright, take her away." And that was it. It's just... And she got like really upset too. I mean, Yang has she can activate her semblance just by like being angry. So that's actually a good plus. It doesn't mean she has to endure a lot. But man, did that guy get hit so far back.
Dude, that was pain.
It was almost comical in the fact that it revealed where Weiss really was.
Damn.
It was like,
Weiss is like literally right there.
And then that gave a perfect moment of everyone in the audience should be like, oh, so much for subtlety. All right, Night Dude, go ahead.
Oh, that guy died.
Also, I felt like it was really realistic how they portrayed just everyone like trying to get on the know immediately in this scenario where it's like, what are you doing here? Like, that's my mom. That's your mom? She kidnapped me. You kidnapped her?
Yeah.
I am
Jesus Christ.
really impressed though that Raven actually calmed everyone down, diffused the situation before anything got out of hand.
Well, she is the leader.
That is true. And that is something that I have to remember, because I just kind of thought of Raven as kind of just like simply selfish, and like when she probably is stubborn, but she's also really smart about it because she's the leader. If there was going to be like some kind of like fight, then it would actually tear down like the barriers and also bring Grimm in, and she was well aware of that, which is why like, all right, stop it, give her a weapon. come with me, and she pretty much kind of gave up because otherwise her tribe would have been really in a bad shape. So it's weird because I know that in Volume 4, Crow was lecturing Raven, saying like, you have a really shrewd conception of what family is, because she thinks of the tribe as her family, but not her family. So it's so weird, but I'm just kind of glad that there was a dynamic that I got to see, whether it was good or bad, because they've just been hinting at that like for so long, and now I kind of have to wonder. Oh, also about the Spring Maiden, right there. Yeah, it is Spring. The fact that they don't mention her at all, kind of like, it's like, I just want them to say something about it.
Why? Yang knows nothing about that.
That's true. And Weiss does.
And I don't feel Raven would feel obligated to bring it up every chance she has.
That's true. So they're at least smart about it. I just kind of wish that they'd say something, but we'll have to find out later. So I guess it would make sense that Weiss and Yang wouldn't know about it. Blake doesn't know about it either, but I mean, only Ruby and Ranger.
Team Junior is the only one that knows.
And Oscar.
And Oscar.
So yeah, I guess
he's part of Team Junior though. He's a junior member.
Yeah, we'll have to rearrange the name for that to work.
No, Junior.
Oh yeah, Junior still works.
Yeah.
So it literally is Junior now. So okay. But yeah, that was pretty much it as far as like my highlights. I think this is a solid episode as far as like just sewing in the plot together, because I'm just kind of glad that like 2 of the 4 like reunited as a Team RWBY. Just it's getting us one step closer to bring the whole team back together after like a whole volume.
Oh, reunions.
Gay.
Now kiss.
Gay.
Hey guys.
No, I'll get going.
Master, will you undo it?
Yeah, that was pretty much it on my end.
Junior, Jaune, Oscar, Nora,
or is it
June?
No, it's Jaune, Nora,
Jaune,
RWBY, or no, Oscar afterwards. Ren RWBY. What? Or yeah,
it's
Junior.
It's Jaune, Oscar, Nora, Ozpin, Ren, RWBY.
Can we add Crow in the mix?
The silent C at the beginning.
Gotcha. Junior. There's a Q right there.
I forgot what word it was that we came up with, but Adam and I came up with a word and had a silent Q and Z at the end.
Of something.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, but yeah, Gabe, do you have anything to add about this episode?
Always for the face, dude. Really.
Oh.
Everyone goes for the face. Like, you can't just punch someone in the gut and let them writhe in pain and you go on your merry way.
Nah.
No, it's thwam. I'm gonna break your nose and leave you for dead.
Oh, that was enough. Oh my god.
That headbutt.
Oh my god, dude. That was savage.
That back headbutt that Ozpin did.
Ozpin.
Yeah.
Everyone commented on like, oh, ooh.
Yeah.
I guess that's pretty much it. I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing what Blake is gonna do on our side, because everything's kind of in a everything's kind of a mess over there.
Yeah, everything's converging for everyone except for Blake and Sun.
Yeah, because right now that's also something I didn't really tell you much about, but the fact that the father made the address of what Adam was going to do. He was going to overthrow Sienna Khan, which he already just did.
King Kong?
And I was like, okay, here's what we should do. We should go to Haven, which is pretty much the setup with Blake meeting up there. But Ilya, which is Blake's friend, who was like masked up.
Okay, she's the chameleon?
Yeah, she's the chameleon. She actually like shouted out within the midst of the crowd, trying to get everyone else to think the other way around. Like, why should we side with like the humans when they've treated us fine as like trash? And yeah, Blake's father is like, oh wait, we want to still work with them. We want to be equal. Like, And Elia's like, to fuck with that. It's just like
To fuck with that.
It's like, no, we shouldn't. And then I think that causes a huge commotion. So there's no going to Mistral now. So we'll see more about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really see much of like Junior doing much of anything, unless they find new people, essentially a new cast.
I would like to see like actual fights with professional huntsmen more often.
Yeah,
because it's cool seeing the students of Beacon do what they do, but to see the professionals fight, like Winter versus Crow,
or Crow versus Tyrion. Who,
especially the one-on-one fights.
The one-on-ones.
Those are so cool, because the big boss fights where it's a group raid are awesome, but it's a lot of planning and downtime and getting your ass whooped.
Real time. Well, yeah, that too. But like one-on-one, it's a lot of like real time strategic, like
it's reactionary.
Yeah.
There's no setup for it. It's all happening in front of you. You just kind of have to like learn with the characters as they're learning, because RWBY does that really well. They're not holding your hand through everything, telling you, well, this is what's going on. They're doing this. This is what their thought process is. This is what's happening.
They know.
Yeah.
And that's something I do give praise to them. They don't like elaborate on every single thing. In fact,
they don't give inner monologue. The only one that gets it is Oscar and Ozpin. That's just because that's two entities like, talking within each other.
Yeah.
There's no thought bubbles here and thought bubbles there.
That's a good point, because a lot of that doesn't happen, if any happened at all.
I can't remember it ever happening.
Yeah, so that's really good. So it just happens there, and they have to make it right. That's
the fault with all shonen anime.
There's too much like
it's all thought bubbles. Most of interaction is thought bubble. I haven't seen it very much in action cartoons and all that. So that might be where the Western influence is taking over with RWBY.
That's true.
Where we have an Eastern art style to it, but the storytelling is very Western. The fact that
it happens.
It's action. It's all action. There's a nice story to bundle all the action together, but it's action. If I'm going to punch someone, I'm not going to think about, well, if I punch him here, it's going to hurt more. It's just...
That does explain a lot, like, in Naruto fights specifically, when in the latter parts where it's just like, you don't hear anything, it's just them like throwing punches, dodging, like performing jutsus on the fly, like Obito versus Kakashi, Naruto versus Sasuke. Those have
Madara versus the world.
No, like Madara, he already knows what he wants to do, and he shows it to you. He doesn't think about it. He's not talking. He's not having an inner monologue about how he wants to rule the world. He's going to do it.
Yeah, his inner monologue is, where am I going to put my dining set after all this? Do I want my statue to be made of gold or platinum? No, jade. Jade would be awesome.
And also other Marvel movies do this too, where they don't have like inner monologues about that. They just do it, and they have like amazing choreography to back it up, and just keeps you like in your seat instead of like thinking, oh, this is something I could talk about later, or like, oh, they wouldn't stand a chance. Although it would be interesting to well, I guess I don't know where I was going with that point. I think it's like, as far as like, for example, Death Battle analysis. I know someone's getting triggered right now in the comments when I mentioned Death Battle, but just, I guess it'd only be suitable if they talked about that kind of stuff, or it'd be very resourceful if they actually elaborate more in RWBY's world about how Semblance work and everything like that, other than we have to just hypothesize how this works. That's what I'm saying.
We just kind of do. That's how Semblance works. We just kind of do.
We just do it.
Do it.
Do it. No kiss. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah?
Yeah.
Alrighty then. In that case...
That was a long final thought.
That was a long final What's the saying? Jerry's final thoughts.
Huh?
This is Jerry's final thoughts. Something like that. Yeah, it's something that no one would say, and I would just like start busting up laughing when I heard like his voice do that. But yeah, all right, we'll end the discussion here. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to stay informed of all these discussions and just know when they're going to be posted, stay subscribed. I think there's also like a little bell next to the subscribe button that just like lets you know real time when that happens.
Hey, we have a video.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a textual version of that. And also support our Patreon. So yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. #bye, everyone. That was rough.
Yeah.
I heard that thump. All right.